The following commentary has been approved for all yackers by the Moviegoers Association of America. Viewer discretion is advised.
Boom! Pow! Make it chow!
FansYak.
Hello there, and welcome to FansYak, where your hosts, Ben Yak and
Cat Yak.
will be doing our review of the movie Onward.
What do you mean backwards?
Hey, backwards? What do you mean backwards? Did you think the movie was backwards?
Yup.
How so?
Well, first of all, it starts with these two kids living with their mom. Their dad died. I forgot the names. Let's call them...
It's Ian Lightfoot and Barley Lightfoot.
No, we ain't gonna do that. Let's call them Chris Pratt and Tom Holland.
Oh my goodness.
Now, I think Disney thought because Chris Pratt and Tom Holland had such a great bromance in Avengers Endgame.
I thought that, wait a minute, I thought the romance was between Tom Holland and Iron Man.
No, we're talking about behind the scenes bromance.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Disney thought, let's make a movie with these two fools acting like brothers. It'll be great. Spoiler alert, it was alright.
Yeah,
They were stiff, right?
I don't know. I think that the movie was better than what I originally thought it was going to be.
Nah.
Because there was such a low expectations about the film. Like, for example, right? The story was just okay. Like
Let's
Cat.
tell them about the story.
Okay, well,
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert. All right, Cat Yak, you can start off about the story.
Take it away. So the story is about these two brothers, Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, who live with their mom. Their dad died when Tom Holland was younger, right?
Actually, Tom Holland, which is Ian Lightfoot, I think.
No, he was Barley.
He wasn't born.
He was Barley.
Chris Pratt is the older brother.
He's the one with the other name that's not Barley.
Wait a minute.
What's the other kid's name?
It's Ian Lightfoot.
No way. No, it ain't.
Yes, it is. It's Ian Lightfoot.
Look it up.
And hold on. No, I don't know. Hold on, I wrote it down right here. See, Tom Holland is Ian Lightfoot.
No, Tom Holland was...
Yes.
You know what? You're right. You were right. I remember the mom calling him Ian. First of all, if you're in a magical land, the movie is about a magical land. Hundreds of years after they decided that electricity was better than magic. I don't know who the bleep would decide that, right? It's about Ian and Barley living with their mom. The mom's doing Zumba, and it's Ian's birthday. His dad died before he was born, and his mom held on to the secret for 16 years that their dad left them something.
Well, it wasn't. I wouldn't say that it was really that much of a secret because remember, the dad left them the staff, right?
But she never told them. It was in the attic this whole time. They never went through the attic.
And that's because she said to wait until their 16th birthday.
That's BS. First of all, at 16, you're an adult. You can hold a staff now. Anyways, they decide to try to bring the father back because he leaves the spell, whatever. The spell obviously fails. We saw everything in the damn trailer. Everything funny about this movie's in the trailer.
You know what? You're absolutely right because in the trailer, yeah, that is basically the truth. The whole trailer is basically the whole story. And that's why sometimes... even though you try to do a review of these movies, but when you basically see everything that's in the trailer, and then all the most important parts, then it's like, what's the point of creating a movie in the first place?
We already saw the entire plot. They get the dad back, half his body's missing, they bump into some pixies that are part of a biker gang, they get chased, they run out of gas. Like, everything you saw in the trailer is basically what the movie was about. The only twist was the end.
Well, one thing I wanted to say is that I did like how during the film that Ian Lightfoot, which is of course the younger brother, they did show him kind of progress as in being someone who was a little bit cowardly into someone who began to show his strength as the time progressed.
But Disney's already done that way better in other movies. It was just a weak man's version of somebody who's starting to somewhat believe in himself, but he only really believed in himself because his brother believed in him. It was kind of like a cop-out, I believe in myself now. It's like, oh wow, my brother isn't a fuck-up. He's actually right. Bleep, sorry.
He was actually right. I guess it's not that he was just a mess up or a screw up, but it's how the story went to make him seem like he was the one that was a little insane. and then as the story progressed, he was the mentor to the main character, which is Ian Littlefoot, and the one that kept Ian on the path to helping them find a way to bring the rest of their father's body back. And one thing I wanted to say to me in the film that didn't make any sense was the simple fact that in the movie, when the father came back, and you guys can all see this in the trailer, they basically showed that the father couldn't hear them, right? Because his entire upper body was missing.
But in the movie, they go back between it being the vibrations on the floor and him actually hearing them.
Yes.
It was like, pick one, Disney. Either he can hear them or he can't.
And the main giveaway to that was when they were in a van and Ian and Barley got into an argument, and while they were arguing, half of the father's body comes out, which is really strange, and starts dancing. And I know that he was dancing to make them feel better.
But how did he know they were angry at each other and arguing?
So that was
vibration.
Yes, but see, that was what was confusing the most to me.
The worst part was the end.
Yes.
Ian was the one who really wanted to see his dad because he never saw him his whole life. Blah, blah, blah. His whole life was like, I wish I had seen my dad. They should have gotten him some therapy a long time ago, but I digress. He gets to the end, and the other brother, Barley Wheat, decides to be the one to finally get the dad show up or whatever, and Ian hurts his leg and doesn't get to meet his dad.
Which made no sense.
And they only get to like a second with him or something.
And not even that, the fact that when Ian was trying to see his father, a whole bunch of rubble was blocking him, and all he can see was like his dad talking to Barley. Yeah. But the thing that sucks about the film the most is that they go through this whole 24 or more hour adventure to see the father. Even though I know the story was trying to say, well, you know,
Barley was the dad the whole time.
Exactly.
Which is kind of creepy.
Well, I didn't say it was creepy. That was the nice part.
You still want to see your dad, though.
Yes.
It was like, wait, he hurt his foot. He was behind rubble. He sees the dad show up. Instead of running towards him, he decides to give Barley his moment with him.
I mean,
why?
I have no idea. I mean, to me, it just seems a bit backwards, and that's why I guess you said a bit ago that it was like, what was the point? Because if the point of the story was him growing to finally get a chance to meet his father, and then when his father finally comes back and meets him only for like 2 minutes,
the father doesn't even ask about Ian. Why didn't the father walk towards him?
Or even try to run to see you for that second?
Anyways, FansYak, how many Yak stars would you give this?
I would give this Yak stars 2.5 out of 5. What about you?
I'd give it a 1.
You give it a 1? Why would you give it a 1?
I don't know, Disney. This was a weak attempt of continuing Avengers Endgame backstory.
Wait. So you're going to give it a 1 and say that just because it's Chris Pratt and Tom Holland?
They were the only... Listen, if it wasn't for the Manticore and the mom, it'd be a 0. That's the facts.
That's the facts of
Yak facts.
Okay, so anyways, thank you so much for listening, and just remember, we're not perfect. We just love to yak.